This is going to be a really quick video just talking about an idea and how this is the same operation that those in control of the narrative, the people who write fake history, the people who decide what the experts get to talk about, they play the same game over and over, and you see it all over the place. So for instance, in the fake space stuff, it's why they tell you that things are a cajillion miles away. It's so big that you can't even imagine it, but it's also so far away. It's to disconnect you from reality, to make the numbers so extreme that you feel like you can't even relate to it. And they have people living in this mind matrix where they feel like they can't even fathom reality because it's just too big for them to possibly ever comprehend. Another big one that I love to talk about is biology, because they do this with biology too. You can't go out and try to consume media on biology without being bombarded with bullshit straight away. 500 trillion years ago. Like, that is not science. You can't reproduce that. Once you wake up to the programming and you become critical of it, you stop just accepting whatever somebody's going to tell you. Once you're actually being critical, it becomes so obvious how heavy-handed they are with, like I said, you can't go watch something even on like squirrels or even about plants without immediately being bombarded with the programming this many million years ago. And how the entire system is built up in a way that it's self-fulfilling, and if you don't agree to talk about that stuff, you won't get funding. You're not going to get a degree in biology without your abstract talking about evolution. So they've built in the lie into the system, and if you're not willing to accept that, then that's the price of admission to play the game, is to accept their bullshit. You can't be a biologist if you're not going to blab on about evolution. That you just won't. I mean, you could get a degree, I guess, if you just put your head down and you kept those thoughts to yourself. Anyways, so they same lie with geology. Just to bring it back to what this video is actually about, is geology. And this is a really cool subject because there is, I don't know what they call themselves nowadays, the mud flood. Of course, all of these, whenever they give a label to something like that, it's so that their goons can come up and take over the movement and shove it in a wrong direction, or just repeat the same garbage over and over. Guru, sell you some guruism. And fake history, geology being mixed with human buildings, that is just such a cool topic, because it's just true. It's real that after a while, or given certain cataclysmic events, things made by humans can turn into geology. And that's a truth that you'll never learn that in school because it goes against the narrative. And we just have this big, I mean, I already kind of mentioned it. It's to take you away. It's to detach you from reality. But there's also this concept of the big lie. It's a propaganda technique and psychological concept describing a lie so audacious, colossal, and often repeated that individuals believe it must be true, as they cannot fathom someone having the impudence to distort the truth so infamously. The big lie shows up in all sorts of things. It's the ball earth. How could all the governments be lying about this? That is so crazy. What do you mean the earth is flat and the sun is not that far away? The sun's actually a bajillion miles. It's just so far from what people, it's so audacious. That's exactly the same thing with the ball earth stuff. People really just think that would be too crazy for them to make up these lies. And that protects the lie. Somehow it's a weird magic trick. That's, in my opinion, stuff like that is like applied magic. Somebody found out, some trickster a long time ago realized that that they could make their lie so crazy and that people somehow believed it more. It's just a psychology trick, magic. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on the big lie. How they get away with it by being so extreme with their lies. And geology, to bring it back to what this video is talking about, here's a video. You could go check it out if you want. I don't know the context. I just like the idea of the video. Our garbage turned into minerals. Human waste is now turning into new types of minerals. But a big part of this video was that it's a short time span. That what I love about this video is it just drives home the point that happens so often with this big lie thing in the matrix that they've created of deception, the satanic deception, Freemasonic system that everybody lives under. It follows this formula all the time, where we have this process that's actually short. It's a short process. And what they tell us is that it takes a bajillion years. That happens with, to bring it back, I talked earlier about biology, but to maybe finish one of my other thoughts about biology, biology actually adapts quickly. So I rambled on and on about how you can't even play the game unless you accept evolution, millions of years. If you're not going to be talking about millions of years, your biology paper is probably not even going to get published. Or you're not going to make an educational science video and talk about how quickly biology adapts, because that's not the MO. That's not what they've agreed to lie about. Anyways, so biology actually adapts really, really quickly. And you can see hybrid species appear like really quickly. Think of the way that they can take tulips or something and breed it into a million different, that's evolution. So evolution, the grain of truth to evolution is that things do adapt, but they actually adapt really quickly. And it's just a way that God made this place for biology to adapt. So when they tell you that 500 million years ago, that's just bullshit. But things do actually really adapt. Man, biology is one I could ramble about because they make fun of their, it's like there's that two competing theories of biology. One is like the giraffes' necks get longer because they stretch their neck. It's like, and that gets mocked heavily, but it's actually closer to the truth. You can actually change your biology through what you do. And what comes to mind, there's just this cool thing. Have you ever heard where archaeologists dig somebody up and they're like, oh, that person was an archer? Because they can just tell with their bone structure that they had like a really strong right arm or something like that. I'm sure you guys have heard that. Biology can actually adapt really quickly. You could make a race of human beings that are like really suited to do certain things by them doing that thing. Yeah, I guess this wasn't going to be a super short video. Geology. Yeah, I guess for me personally, geology, it's not that interesting to me, but I think it's cool other people have channels. So I guess in the comments you can drop your favorite fake history channel or bricks into rocks channel. I know that there's some cool channels out there that take some good footage of some suspicious looking geology out there. And there's just like bricks in the middle of this weird melted rock pile. But the point is it happens quickly. They lie and say that geological things are 1 million years old, when in fact the young Earth creationists, people who say that the Earth is only like 6,000 years old or 8,000 years old, those people are way, way, way closer to the truth than any took a bajillion years for this to... No, that's the lie. The truth is much closer to what Bible literalists. It's just the same way that Earth really is more like a Bible literalist interpretation. History and geology is also more Bible literalist. I don't know, just to may as well keep rambling. I do think that there could be things that are really, really old though. And that in the beginning, like when God's first days, who knows how long those things really took. And I do think that there could be some truth to that. Who knows how long those first couple days were compared to today when time is moving so much more quickly. And there could be some truth to the giant trees and stuff. Anyways, this really turned out to be a good ramble video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about, just the geology thing, how tons of mountains out there, they could be ancient trash piles. In this video, they talk about some sort of rock formation along the coast, and they say it's the tailings from an old, I don't know, something or other. something to do with metal, maybe. So I think that that is very true, in that a lot of things that get told to us are geological and millions of years old. It's probably ancient. It could be an ancient trash heap. There could be mountains out there that are just an ancient trash pile that ended up solidifying. I guess one more point is that this goes in with more academia lies. You know how when we were little, I remember being told crazy things about the stars. Every star you see is already dead. I remember being told crazy stuff like that they don't even lie like that anymore. But also the zones on your tongue, being able to taste different things, and just everybody knows, like, this can't be right. I can taste salty everywhere. I can taste sweet everywhere. This is wrong. And yet you have the education system preaching these things like absolute truth. The smallpox blankets are actually another one that it was proven to be an academic hoax, but the world just keeps marching on pretending that this is some truth. The geology one that I want to bring up just as the last thought, because it stuck with me. In the 90s, there was endless Save the Planet programming. And in the 90s, one of the big lies that people would say is they would say, like, plastic, did you know that plastic takes like 1,000,000 years to decompose? And that's just such obviously BS. And I remember back then thinking, how could they possibly know that it takes 1,000,000 years to decompose if we haven't been around for 1,000,000 years looking at plastic, watching it decompose? But that just shows you how science is a liar. Modern science is just BS. They just throw out the most crazy BS that is not testable. That's not. And they actually used to teach the scientific method and how you have to have a test. Where's your test to prove that plastic takes 1,000,000 years? Who's been sitting around for 1,000,000 years? And in fact, real life teaches us the opposite. The sun can obliterate a piece of plastic in a couple years. So no, it doesn't take 1,000,000 years for plastic to disintegrate. It can get obliterated in the sun in a handful of years. And they're always coming out with articles of new bacteria comes out and eats plastic. Like, this is linked up with the biology thing. Biology is very adaptable, and it's way quicker than millions of years. So all of the bacteria and yeast and all the little microorganisms that live out there on everything, who knows how quickly that adapts to eat up plastic. And it just proves that this stuff probably has existed in the past before. It's just, it solidifies into rock. It becomes a mountain somewhere. It just gets it gets petrified or turned into dust. And it's just a huge lie that they tell us about plastic takes 1,000,000 years to decompose. No, it doesn't. That's just more BS out of the propaganda factory known as the education system. And that is enough rambling for this video. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. And God bless everyone.